This video will make you confident with men. If you've been wanting to understand the male psyche, understand your man more, understand men in general so that you can attract them, you can have them want to take care of you, want to give you things, want to provide and protect you and be your hero, you can have an incredible relationship, an incredible life where things just flow. They're easy for you, they're natural, and men just want to help you. They want to give to you and they adore you. Then this will be so powerful for you to complete. My name is Brody Boyd, and for over 20 years combined with my wife, Antia, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man they desire. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So the 10th powerful principle here is to choose a man who chooses you. Women often get caught in this horrible cycle where they're constantly running after men who don't want them. They are picking men who are emotionally unavailable, who are not giving them the attention they want, who are not committing, who are not investing in the relationship. And it creates this cat and mouse chase. And what happens is your brain will actually misinterpret feelings of anxiety, fear, emotional withdrawal as attraction. Because those butterflies, those feelings in the stomach can be very easy to interpret as, oh, I really like this person versus I'm feeling anxious and I'm not really getting my needs met here. And it happens because of your attachment wounds often, because of things that happen in childhood where you weren't getting the love you craved from your dad or your mom or some early childhood romantic experiences. And so we call it attraction anxiety, the confusion of the brain. And the way that you can start to heal that is to start to reverse that pattern and start to only choose men who choose you first. Men who have shown interest in you, who have pursued you, who have invested in the relationship, and ultimately who have committed to you first. Meaning that your life will then become easy. You're no longer having to wonder and having to chase and make them like you. Now you are becoming the chooser. You are becoming the qualifier. You are in the position of being the prize, which is going to make your life a lot easier. The 9th way to become more confident with men is to develop a feminine appearance, manner, and nature. Now, the way you do this is you want to accentuate the differences between you and men, which will make you feel much more confident within yourself as a woman because you have things inside of you and within you and around you, around your whole beingness that is much different than a man. So we want to accentuate those differences, which will increase attraction and polarity as well, because the law of polarity states that opposite energies attract. Masculine energy attracts feminine energy and vice versa. So when you can accentuate those differences in your appearance, in your manner, in your nature, you will feel more connected to your feminine core, which is who you really are as a woman deep inside, because every woman does have a feminine core deep inside. And then the men will start to activate their masculine core. They'll be more attracted to you. They'll be drawn, and you get that polarity, that attraction, and that chemistry. So how do you do this? Well, you want to start thinking about and embodying some of the opposite energies of a man. So if you look at the appearance of men, what would be the opposite of that in general? So, for example, if most men you're interacting with have shorter hair, then your accentuation would be to have much longer hair. Or if more men are wearing suits and pants and business-like attire, your feminine accentuation would be to wear more of the opposite of that. Dresses, skirts, more colorful fabrics, or feminine fabrics, flowing fabrics. It could be differences in colors. If the men you're around tend to wear darker colors, you can be wearing more pinks and feminine and frilly colors, beautiful colors that accentuate that difference. Now, of course, with your walk and your body language and the way you actually move, you can accentuate those differences as well, such as, for example, if men tend to be walking more linearly and angularly, you can be walking with more sway to your hips, more motion in the ocean. And with your nature, if men are more problem-oriented, they're solving things, they're achieving goals, they're making things happen, they are leading and controlling, you can be the opposite of that. You can start to follow, be receptive, be open, be more like the weather, the changing motion of the energy, the cycles of your hormones. For example, you can start to accentuate these differences, which again will help bring you back to your own feminine core in different ways and start to accentuate and increase that chemistry and that passion through polarity. Before we get to our next point, if you haven't yet, I highly recommend taking our free Magnetize Your Man quiz to get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man you desire, where we can customize all this for you, give you specific coaching recommendations, and get you on the path to have the advanced strategies of magnetic feminine polarity and magnetic feminine communication which you can get by clicking the link in the comments or description below, or you can go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com as well to get that now. Now, the 8th principle to be more confident with men is to develop more faith and trust in masculine energy and men's intentions. So you might have had a lot of experiences in the past, potentially, where you've been disappointed by men, you've been hurt by men. Maybe there was some trauma, maybe there was some abuse. There's bad men out there and there are bad situations out there. What can happen, however, is some women can get locked into that. They can get locked into the past, and it can cause them to energetically block themselves from receiving masculine energy in their life, positive masculine energy, because they have the wounds that are now pushing away that energy because they're saying to themselves unconsciously, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to have a bad situation again. So I'm not even going to energetically let anything in. They start to build walls instead of doors. Walls will keep everything out, and ultimately a wall, for example, with a cell, if a cell doesn't have a semi-permeable membrane, the cell will die. If we as humans don't have the ability to eat food and expel waste, we will die. So we need to be able to allow good things to come into our life and bad things to go out of our life. That means having doors instead of walls, or just nothing, just nothingness, openness. That's not healthy either, and cells and bodies will die with that as well. So we need to have this semi-permeable membrane, meaning you're allowing positive masculine energy to come into your life, and you're blocking negative masculine energy in your life, but you're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater and blocking all masculine energy. So part of that healing for you likely will be starting to trust and have faith in that there are good men out there. There are men who want to help you. Masculine energy can be very valuable for you in your life, to have people who want to do things for you, to solve problems for you, to be your protector, your provider, your hero, so that your life will be easier. Your life will be more enjoyable. You'll be able to feel cared for and adored and cherished by a healthy masculine man, healthy masculine energy that just wants to adore you and fill you up with all the pleasure and the bliss and the desires of your heart, and treat you like his princess, like his queen. So in order to do that, you have to start building that faith. You have to start building that trust within yourself so that you can open up again. You can allow that in and trust yourself enough that you'll be able to set a boundary with yourself if and when a man shows you that he's not trustworthy or that he's a broken man in some way, that you can step away from that, you can get out of that situation, and then focus back in on attracting a healthy, positive masculine energy into your life that will fill you up and help make you even happier long term. The 7th principle to become more confident with men is expressing problems without demanding a solution. So part of becoming more confident is being authentic, being willing to share when you are having an issue, being able to speak up, but doing so in the right way, doing so with magnetic feminine communication and having a respectful and vulnerable approach to sharing your problems, to sharing your needs and desires with a man. So one of the keys for that is to be able to share the problem simply without demanding a solution, expecting a solution, or telling him what the solution is. So an example of this would be saying the phrase, I can't. For example, I can't open this jar, or I can't reach that thing on top of the shelf, or I can't figure out how to fix this issue on my computer, or my car is making this noise and I don't know why. So what you're doing here is you're simply saying what the problem is. You're just presenting it to him, but you're not telling him what to do. You're not telling him how to solve it. You're letting him understand that there is a problem, and then his mission, if he so chooses it, is to solve that problem for you and to come up with a solution from his masculine energy and actually provide that help for you. The 6th principle to become more confident with men is to focus on having fun. So you want to be authentic and you want to share all the range of emotions that come up for you, which means appreciation, which means problems when they arise. You want to be able to share those with your man respectfully using feminine communication so he can help you with those things. And then when problems are solved, when you're feeling good, the default setting should be to have fun with your man, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy the process and detach from the outcome, which means that you can put on that song by Bonnie Tyler, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. You can dance around your house, or you can do that energetically within yourself and just be able to relax and enjoy being with your guy, because that's going to create those positive memories. That's going to create that positive association, and that's going to allow him to feel like he's doing a good job as a man. And likely when you're having fun in your interactions with men, on your dates, when you're just hanging out, he's going to have more fun as well. He's going to enjoy himself, and he's going to want to spend more time with you. Plus, who doesn't want to have more fun in their life? Your life is just going to be easier when you use that as your default setting. Now, the problem with this is that so many women get so caught up in their frustrations with their guy or the things they're thinking about of what they need to plan for the future, what they should say next, if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, which is masculine energy being caught up in your head with him, focusing on him, being in the external rather than the internal, which is feminine. And so they forget to remind themselves to get back into their body, to enjoy themselves and ask themselves questions like, am I having fun right now? Am I enjoying myself right now? And if the answer is no, then your next question should be, how can I enjoy myself more in this situation? How can I have more fun? What would be fun for me? What do I want to share? What do I want to do right now? And that'll help reconnect you back to that feminine flow. And that leads us to our fifth powerful principle to become more confident with men, which is to listen to your body more than your brain. So masculine energy is up here. It's in your brain, it's in your mind, it's logic, it's trying to solve problems, it's trying to think about the future, it's trying to interpret him, it's trying to psychoanalyze him and think about what kind of man he is and what he wants and what he doesn't want. And that all has value. However, it's a different type of value. It's coming from masculine energy. And when you're in that masculine energy, you're going to push away his masculine energy. You're going to cause him to go into his feminine energy or to start pulling away because that polarity is being diminished. The rubber band is being slackened, and now there's no sexual tension. Now there's no tension, period. And so you can rebuild that polarity by getting out of your head and back into your body, just like the concept of having fun. Listening to what are the sensations in your body? What are the emotions going on? That is your feminine energy. Sometimes you have to just listen in, close your eyes, take a breath, feel your butt on the chair, feel your feet on the ground, and feel into what sensations are you having. Is there a certain color there? Is it moving? Does it have a sound? Is it flowing around? Is it changing shapes? So you start to be in tune with your feminine energy, where it lives in your body. And then from that place, you can communicate those feelings to him using magnetic feminine communication, whatever those feelings are, whether they're positive or quote unquote negative, and share that with him respectfully and vulnerably. And what it also allows you to do when you tap into your body, you're more tapped into your feminine instincts, which means you're going to be more aware of the situation when you're with another person, when you're with a man, whether you should start setting a boundary with yourself, you should exit from that situation, whether you should open up more, whether you should continue to see this guy, whether you feel good, if you're enjoying yourself. That goes back to our principle of choosing a man who chooses you. If you're in the position of being the qualifier, if you're the one seeing if he's a good match for you, in order to know if he's a good match for you, you have to listen to your body and see, do you actually like this guy? Are you actually enjoying yourself? And if you're not, what do you need to change? What do you need to communicate with him so you can get back on track so that you can start enjoying yourself again and start feeling safe to move things forward or to exit gracefully? The fourth powerful principle to be more confident with men is to own and express your need to be taken care of. So a healthy masculine man, he needs to feel needed by you. He doesn't want to be with just a woman who has everything put together, who has no problems. Her life is perfect. Everything is good, because his masculine core is going to scream out and say, why am I needed here? Why do you need me? You're happy on your own. I should go find somebody who actually needs me, because masculine energy wants to be of service. Masculine energy wants to be a hero, which is why so many men gravitate towards professions like being a police officer, being a fireman, being a deep sea fisher, or going to war, because they want to feel like they have a mission, they have a purpose, there's an adventure of some kind, a challenge that they can embrace, that they can solve, achieve it, and then come back with the treasure or be of service to the community, help people with what they need. So a man does want to feel needed in the relationship. So what he needs is to feel needed by you. And when you can express your need to be taken care of, that's going to feel good to him. Now, of course, there's lots of things you need to do as well to take care of yourself. He can't do everything for you. He can't breathe for you. He can't eat for you. There's many things that you can and should do for yourself as a woman. That's the self-care. And there's a lot of things that he can also provide for you. There's space he can fill in your life that you can make room for him and let him know that he is needed, asking him for help with things in your life, whether that's your feelings, whether that's a situation with a family member, whether that's your taxes or a financial situation or a health situation or something with your car or your computer. Like all of these things, you can allow him to help you by asking for help, give him that space. And then when he does give you that service, to share with him your gratitude, share with him how it makes you feel. And now you've completed that beautiful cycle that makes him feel this is a woman I could see myself being with long term. And that leads us to our third powerful principle that'll make you more confident with men, which is practice self-care by doing at least 3 things a day that bring you enjoyment. So this means actually making a list of the things in your life that make you feel really good, the activities or the people or the environments that make you feel really good. And that means they make you feel good in the moment, or they make you feel good after the event, such as exercise or going out in nature or being in the sun. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes you feel really good in the moment doing that activity, and you also feel really good after the activity. So to find both would be even more ideal. Find those activities where you are filling yourself up, where you are making yourself happy, because what happens also is then when you fill up that happiness, you can bring that energy into the relationship. You don't need him to provide everything for you like we're talking about before, that you have a baseline level of contentment within yourself, so it's much easier for you to detach from the outcome, to be more open, to be more trusting, to be more authentic within yourself, and then to allow him to interact with you from that place, to give service in the ways that he can uniquely provide for you as a man, especially with his skill set and his knowledge. But then you have these activities you're doing outside of the relationship that are giving you joy, that are giving you passion, that are giving you even a sense of purpose other than him, so that not all of the weight is on him to provide everything for you. And ultimately, that's going to make you a more magnetic, a more radiant woman, not just to men, but to everybody in your life. The second principle that'll make you more confident with men is to practice talking to new people. So this is another part of self-care, which means cultivating a healthy social life. And it doesn't even have to be a deep social life oftentimes. It could just be that every time you go out of your house, you're smiling at people, you're talking to people, you're making connections. And so this could be as simple as something when you go out to the grocery store, asking the person who's checking out, how's your day going so far? Or how's your evening going so far? Or another question that I used to love asking, especially when I was single, is I would ask people, do you have any fun plans for this evening? Or do you have any fun plans for this weekend? And people love to talk about their free time. They love to talk about what they're doing on the weekends or the holidays or after work. And so people typically light up when they're talking about things they like to do for fun or what they have planned. And it's a great positive energy. It's a positive association. And then typically they're going to ask you as well what your plans are or how your day is going or if you have any fun plans for the holiday. And what's going to happen then as well is they're going to share things that they're doing. You might get ideas for other fun activities you can add to the fun list that we created earlier. And they'll likely ask you about what your plans are. You can share that with him. It also creates a very easy bridge for them to naturally invite you to join them on what they're doing. So for example, if you say to somebody, do you have any fun plans for this evening, or do you have any fun plans for this weekend? And they say, yeah, actually this weekend I'm planning on going hiking with this new group I joined on Meetup. And then you're like, oh, that sounds really fun. And they're like, whoa, you should join, or why don't you come along with us? So it's a very easy way for them to make that invite for you. And you could also do that as well. If they ask you what your plans are and you tell them you're going to this music festival or a farmer's market or whatever you have planned, and then they say, well, that sounds really fun. And you say, well, you're welcome to join as well, or you can come with us and join the group. And this is a natural way to start building your social life, learning what's going on in your area just by making these little connections with all types of people you meet throughout the day at your workplace or while you're running errands. Or even online, you can do some of these things, commenting on people's posts who live locally, messaging friends, family. So it's a natural way to start lifting up your life and creating more of those connections that will also fill you up. And the number one principle that will make you more confident with men is to resign from doing things your man can do for himself. So women oftentimes have this nurturing energy that is within them that wants to come out, that wants to make the people around them happy, pleased, taken care of, their needs are being met, because that's how you can feel potentially more valuable as a woman. However, you have to be very careful with this, because if you are giving to a man more than he's giving to you, you are in masculine energy, because by definition, masculine energy is giving, feminine energy is receiving. So when you are giving, and you're trying to make them happy and you're doing things for him that he can and should do for himself, you're putting yourself into the mothering role, you're putting yourself into the masculine role, and you're putting him into his feminine, childlike receiving mode, where now he's becoming passive in the relationship, potentially also feeling disrespected because it's showing that you believe he's not capable of doing it himself, that you don't really see him as a strong man, as a respectable man, which can be one of the deepest fears for a man, because the deepest desire of the masculine core is to be respected and trusted. So if you're doing these things for him, such as cleaning his socks or making his meals or washing his car, and he didn't ask you for these things, he didn't lead you to do these things, you're just doing them on your own because you're a nurturing, loving person, well, that's going to cause some issues down the line, most likely, because the polarity is going to decrease. He's going to likely stop valuing you as much in the relationship, and he's going to move more into his feminine energy rather than his hero, protector, provider energy. So you have to stop the madness. There's an old saying, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. And you have to start allowing him to do those things for you, which goes back to some of these other fundamental principles we talked about earlier, feminine principles of asking for help, of letting him give to you, of letting him serve you, of letting him provide and protect and be the hero for you in all those different ways. And letting him know where you need that help, asking for that help respectfully, asking permission. Can I ask you for help with this? Can I ask for your opinion with something? May I have your help with an issue I'm dealing with? So you're allowing him to solve those things for you, to provide for you. You reverse the dynamic, and then you can channel that nurturing energy into other activities, primarily nurturing yourself, going back to the self-care, loving yourself. If you have children, you can redirect it towards them. And just know that nurturing energy is actually masculine energy because you are giving, you are providing, you are helping, you're being the hero to them. So you just have to sometimes reframe that in your own mind so you understand when and where you are in your masculine energy, so we can reverse that, get you back to your feminine core where you become magnetic, radiant, and get all the things that you desire in your life. Much love. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to talking to you more in our next powerful training very soon.